The morning of May 28th, 1453. You are standing on the western shore of the Bosphorus, looking at the greatest city in the Christian world. 1 million people once lived here. Now, maybe 50,000 remain. The streets that used to choke with merchants, pilgrims, and emperors are quiet. The forums are overgrown. The hippodrome is half ruined. But the walls are still perfect. 60 feet of layered stone and brick, stretching 4 miles from the Golden Horn to the Sea of Marmara. Tonight, those walls will fall for the first time in over 1,000 years. But right now, it is morning. The city does not know that yet. Walk with me. The Golden Horn is the natural harbor that made this city rich for 1,000 years. It is a long, curved inlet, like a golden crescent, that splits the northern edge of the city from the district of Galata across the water. Look across. You can see Galata right now, the tall Genoese tower rising over its own walls. The Genoese have been neutral in this war. They trade with both sides. That tower has been watching this siege for 53 days, and it will keep watching for another 12 hours. Down here on the docks, the mood is tense, but not panicked. Not yet. A few Venetian ships are still here. Their captains have been arguing for weeks about whether to stay and fight or break through the Ottoman naval blockade and sail for home. Most chose to stay. 700 Venetian sailors will fight tonight alongside the Greeks. The harbor chain, a massive iron boom stretched across the mouth of the Golden Horn, has kept the Ottoman fleet out of this water for weeks. A chain link the size of a man's forearm, stretching a 1/4 mile. It is the one part of this defense that has actually worked. But 2 weeks ago, Sultan Mehmed did something nobody expected. He had his fleet dragged overland, on greased wooden rollers, around Galata, and lowered into the Golden Horn from behind. 70 ships appeared inside the chain overnight, as if conjured from the hills. The Byzantines woke up and the harbor was suddenly surrounded. That moment broke something in this city. Not the walls, the spirit. There are fishermen here, still fishing. Men and women carrying baskets of bread from a bakery that still has flour. A dog sleeping in a coil of rope. Life insisting on itself, right up to the edge. We move inland and north, toward the corner where the land walls meet the sea walls, the Blachernae district. This is where the emperor lives. Constantine XI, the last emperor of Rome, if you want to be precise about it, because that is what the Byzantines call themselves, Romans, has been here since the siege began. He has walked these walls every day. He knows every weak point, every repaired crack, every gate. The palace is not what it was. 300 years ago, when the Crusaders sacked this city, yes, Christian Crusaders sacked Christian Constantinople in 1204, which is its own wound this empire never fully healed. The palace was stripped of much of its treasure. Gold mosaics torn out, marble floors pried up, the imperial library looted. What you see now is the skeleton of something that used to be magnificent. Push through a narrow gate, and you are in a courtyard. A dozen imperial guards, the last of them, are checking their weapons. These are not ceremonial soldiers. They are tired men who have been rotating shifts on the walls for 7 weeks. One of them is sharpening a sword with a whetstone, and the sound of it echoes in the stone courtyard with a terrible patience. There is an account, written down by a survivor named George Francis, the emperor's own secretary, of what Constantine said to his commanders the night before. He asked forgiveness from anyone he had wronged. He said that if any man wished to leave, He should do so without shame. Nobody left. He put on his armor just before midnight. You can hear them through the walls. The Ottoman army has been camped outside for 53 days. 200,000 men by some accounts, though modern historians think closer to 60 to 80,000. Still, against 7,000 defenders. The Theodosian Walls, named for the emperor who built them in 413 AD, are one of the great engineering achievements of the ancient world. A triple system, a moat, a low outer wall, a killing field, and then the main inner wall, 40 feet high and 15 feet thick, with towers rising even higher. They have never been breached in 1,000 years. The Huns tried. The Avars tried. The Arabs tried 7 times. The Bulgars, the Rus, all of them stopped at this stone. But Mehmed has something none of those armies had. Through a gap in the battlements, you can see it in the distance, a massive shape, a tube of bronze on a wooden platform, surrounded by hundreds of men. It has been firing for 7 weeks, every day, except when it overheats and needs to cool. The largest cannon ever built, cast by a Hungarian engineer named Urban, who first offered his services to Constantine. Constantine couldn't afford him. Mehmed could. The cannon fires a stone ball the size of a barrel. When it hits the wall, the ground shakes a quarter-mile away. You can see where the damage has been done. The Byzantines have been filling the gaps with barrels of earth, wooden palisades, whatever they can find. It is desperate improvisation, and they know it. A soldier walks past carrying stones in a cloth sack, ferrying them to a damaged section. He is maybe 16 years old. He does not look frightened. He looks the way people look when they have gotten past fear into something quieter. Nothing prepares you for this building. Hagia Sophia, Holy Wisdom, built by Emperor Justinian in 537 AD. For nearly 1,000 years, the largest church in the world. And even now, even after everything, it is still the most astonishing building on earth. The dome is 182 feet above the floor. When you stand inside and look up, there is a ring of 40 windows around the base of the dome, and the light floods in from all directions in a way that makes the dome appear to float. Procopius, a historian who saw it in Justinian's time, wrote that it seemed to be suspended from heaven by a golden chain. Last night, something extraordinary happened here. Constantine XI, who has not stepped inside this church in years because of a theological dispute between the Orthodox and Catholic churches that his court considers a betrayal, came here and attended a final liturgy. He took communion. His commanders came with him. The Venetians came, the Genoese fighters who have been defending the walls, Greeks and Latins praying together in this space for the first time in decades. An eyewitness wrote that it was like watching men prepare for death with great dignity and even greater sadness. The liturgy is still going on now as you stand here. It will continue through the day. There is a prophecy, old and well known in this city, that Constantinople will never fall as long as the empire holds. There is another prophecy, whispered, that says it will fall, and that one day it will be recovered, and that the last emperor will not die but will turn to marble and sleep beneath the Golden Gate, waiting. People do not say this out loud today, but they are thinking it. Not everyone in this city is praying or fighting. The markets are still open. Not all of them, and not as busy as they once were, but the rhythm of buying and selling is hard to stop, even here, even today. Walk through and you hear Greek, Italian, Catalan, Armenian, Hebrew, Arabic, Constantinople has always been a crossing point, a place where every language in the world washes up eventually. The city is smaller now than it was. Vast districts that were once dense with housing are now farmland inside the walls, orchards where there used to be forums. But what remains is still a city, in the full sense of the word. That is one of the strange things about walking Constantinople in 1453. The city wears its own history on its face. A Roman aqueduct from the 4th century still carries water. A triumphal column still stands in the Forum, though nobody remembers anymore exactly who it was built for. A hippodrome that used to hold 100,000 screaming chariot fans is now a half-empty field where children play. The city has been dying slowly for 2 centuries, ever since the Fourth Crusade in 1204. What you see is the beautiful, melancholy remnant of something that used to be the center of the world. And it knows it. As darkness falls, something changes.
The Ottoman side of the wall, which has been audible all day, a constant low percussion, begins to change its rhythm. Faster, more intense. Defenders on the walls are looking at each other. It is here, at a gate called the Kerkaporta, a small postern gate in the Blachernae section, that history will turn tonight. The gate, somehow, is left unlocked. Whether by accident or treachery, historians still argue. A small group of Ottoman soldiers finds it, floods through, and appears inside the walls. At roughly the same moment, the great cannon fires again. And this time, a section of the outer wall at the Romanos gate collapses completely. The Ottoman infantry pour through both gaps at once. Constantine removes his imperial regalia, the purple cloak, the jeweled crown. He does not want to be captured and ransomed. He wants to fight as a soldier. His last words, by one account, "The city is fallen, and I am still alive." He charges into the breach. His body is never conclusively identified. The Sultan will offer a reward for confirmation. What is eventually brought to him may or may not be Constantine. The last emperor of Rome disappears into the chaos of the night and is